If you trying to be an artist, bro, do that shit, man. For real. Read the motherfucking books, find out your motherfucking family history, and always give back to your motherfucking community.
My name is Rocky G. I currently live in the Bay Area. I'm 23 years old. I'm an educator with the Pinoy Pinay Educational Partnerships, and I make music. Music is everything. You know, what would the world be without music? There's literally music in every single aspect of our life. You know, even the way we talk. When we talk, that's music, right? And there's always tone and melodies and whatever we can find. Even that's a melody right there. It's like I'm always gonna write something that means something to someone, if that makes sense. I always want to write something that will have an impact on the future, present, and past. You know, it have an impact on the people that I'm writing about. So I just always want to keep that fight alive, but non-violently. You know what I mean? We can mobilize without any violence, you know? Think about our people power revolution, you know? That was the peaceful protest that the world has never seen before. So as a Filipino people, like, yeah, we're resistance, we're fighters, but also we could be peaceful and we could do it through art and expression. Fight for what we believe in. I recently just put up a freestyle on Twitter for Filipino American History Month that kind of got some hits online. Now this is a story all about how a couple thousand islands got flipped upside down, located in the middle of the water. I hope to show that land to my daughter. You see, you know it's for our culinary skills and tropical resorts where you can dive, but still we need time to be healed. Cause do you know how many of us died? And you know, it showed me that what people really dig and like that I can really do this, you know what I mean? It showed me that I have a chance, right? To make an impact in somebody's life. Because our stories matter, you know what I mean? For every kid that's not like me, there's a kid like me, you know what I mean? And I just like, I'm doing it for them, cause like no one did it for me, right? But why I write about Filipino American history is because the same reason why everyone else wrote about it, you know? They wanted those stories to be heard, they wanted those stories to be told, and they know the importance and impact of why we gotta keep our memories alive. Gangster of Love to Little Manila's in the Heart, to now like America's Not in the Heart and the new Larry Ilion children's book, Journey for Justice. Like, seeing like these people of color come together and put their stories out there inspires me to do the same. I like to write stories, and sometimes it's just like writing my feelings. Like I do a lot of writing exercises with myself. You can call them personal journals or whatever, but sometimes I turn them into songs. Sometimes I can't really express how I'm feeling. Like even in my own head, I can't even think about what I'm feeling. So what I do is I write a song about it. And through ethnic studies too, I've been able to write more about stories involving the history of the Filipinos that came from the Philippines or grew up here, you know. Artivism is exactly what it sounds like. It's art in activism and activism in art. And the funny thing about it to me, like with that term, is just because like I think there's always going to be activism in art no matter what we do, and there's always going to be art and activism. You can't have either or, so it's funny that we have to put those two names together to label a certain thing when really they can't live without the other. Artivism and Asian Americans' roles in that, and people of color in general, we're very present, specifically the Filipinx community. Not just in the West Coast in Seattle with like Blue Scholars and the Big Rock every year. Artivism could mean a bunch of things. Artivism could mean Grace Boggs in Detroit. Artivism could mean for Vincent Chin. Also, I think it's very important that young people like me and younger participate in such acts. Participate in creating content that matters. Content that involves fighting for ethnic studies, fighting for civil rights, fighting for human rights, you know, against police brutality, against gentrification. A great medium that Asian Americans have is art, you know, that's all we have sometimes. And I think creating art is a great way to not only battle trauma, not only battle generations of colonialism in your head, and not only is a great way to battle all those things, it's also a way for our voices to be heard and to educate as well. Artivism isn't just making music, it isn't just creating visual images, it's also writing books. It's also writing curriculums. It's also creating spaces like organizations on campus, organizations in the SOMA, after-school programs. That's all artivism in general as well. You think of Little Manila's in the Heart, you think of the Debut. These are all forms of artivism because we are oppressed people. And as oppressed people, we have to keep creating content. And honestly, you know, leaving that digital footprint, that artistic footprint on the world is super important now. You know, a lot of our peoples are paying attention to what we're creating. And I think And now is more of a time than ever. We have access to cameras, we got access to studios and stuff. We gotta use it. We gotta use it, and that's a responsibility us as Asian Americans have. Ground yourself, you know what I mean? You gotta see people eye to eye. You know what I mean? You can look up to people, but like I don't say you ever look down on people, especially as an artist, As for a community of artists to grow and get successful, it's not gonna be done through hating and like hating on other people, you know what I mean? If you're trying to be an artist, like collab with as much people as possible, not just Filipinos, you know what I'm saying? Like you definitely gotta be in solidarity with everyone, because like the world isn't just full of Filipinos. Which makes it to the point, like why would we even hate on each other? So just don't be a hater. Always come with love, and like my phrase that I always live by is pray to understand rather than be understood. Try to understand other people, you know what I mean? Like your story will come in time. Like always talk about yourself or whatever, yeah, but like there's some point in time where you're gonna have to set yourself aside and just look at the community and see what you can do for them.